Hey guys, it is August the 3rd. Time flies. I think I started this channel back in April, right? Something on the lines of those. I'm not 100% sure, but I started it when I started it. But the main thing we should focus on is not the fact that once I started this channel, I had hair and now I don't. But we should kind of focus more towards what has happened, what have I done, what have I learned. Unfortunately, this is kind of like a rock bottom part two, right? Where I'm definitely still at rock bottom. Not a lot of success. If anything, more failures, more failures than succeeding in any shape or form. One thing that I was rewatching my channel and I was watching the video of blowing the doors off my business, right? And I'm so grateful for that video because it really led me to see that I am capable of having clear thought and having a clear thesis on what I believe is going to work, right? I'm able to, create some sort of direction for myself. I'm able to identify clients and I'm able to get people to pay me, right? So, I'm already halfway there. And you get so entangled up into your own thoughts and into, you know, well, I would say that you get entangled up into your thoughts to where it lets you to it leads you to a situation of no action, right? And in that, in that bathtub of, indecision and, loving your own stench, it just completely ruins you. From all aspects. It's like you're destroying yourself, right? And for me personally, you always need daily reminders of who you actually are, what you're capable of, and where you're headed. And unfortunately for me, I didn't have anything daily to remind me of, you know, of that, right? And that's where I went wrong. I would go to work, you know, do whatever, come home, and then maybe I'll have the energy to work on something else. And when I do work on something else, it's not to the best level, uh, or, you know, not to my standards, to say the least. Now, Yasin, what are you gonna do to be able to solve this? Why are you special, and why are you different, right? You know, so far I've been only a piece of shit, right? I've posted inconsistently. I shaved my head, and you know, I look more chopped. So I clearly have been declining. So what can a person from his own decline have anything to bring to the table, right? And honestly, where my superpower from a first principles, you know, um, ideology is I'm naturally more charismatic than other people, and I'm able to exude confidence and this level of energy once I get into the right, mindset. It might not seem like it right now because, I'm still kind of shifting into it. And, I'm just now only kind of getting my tone back of authority. But on the lines of that, where it's like, okay, I'm not only just bullshitting you, right? And it's like, okay, you seeing like, you're poorer than some of my pets, right? I promise your pet's not in debt, so they're already better off than me financially. I'm going to record every single day. Every single day, I'm going to record and I'm going to prove everything that I'm doing, which, I have to think about some sort of efficient way, not shying away from the amount of work it is, but, it's to some level of extent, it has to be efficient, right? I'm not, you know, whatever, Terminator, right? I wish I was. I'd already be a billionaire. But nonetheless, I am going to document my journey. This is going to be a library and a blueprint for how someone can be successful. I want to not to build my brand off of it. No, that's not what I'm aiming to do. More so like rather to inspire and actually give guidance to other people. You know, I'm getting this wrong every single day. So, it's realistic that, you might end up successful, 8 to 10 years in, I who's to say, right? But I think it's always a good metric to aim for those. Uh, Not because I'm trying to be pious, not because, oh, I'm trying to be humble, right? If anything, I'm a retard, right? And it'll probably take me 20 years. So I should probably aim for that. But uh, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I personally don't see myself having a personal brand. Uh, Down the line, I would want to work with exceptional and talented people. So, I might need to build, a necessary brand around that. Uh, and depending on the state of society and things like that, if I believe I need to step in and create my own personal brand to be able to guide people toward what's right, then sure, I'm all for it. But for the moment, I don't even know what's right. I'm still trying to figure out what my truth is, and I'm not trying to be ignorant. Um, I, I'm not trying to be ignorant and I'd say like the best way to exemplify it is I'd say like within life, knowledge wise, I'd kind of want to be 2000 rated if you play chess. If you play chess, you'd understand this, right? So based on economics, politics, and truth, yeah, I'd say, and maybe like financial gain, maybe these four things, right? We can throw spiritual and truth for me are kind of like one and the same. So we can say that. And in that segment as a whole, I would want to be rated around 2000. Hopefully within the next 5 years. So, young prodigy that's 2000 rated in life. Nobody really equates ratings to life, but to me that's kind of my most comfortable way of uh, you know, creating some level of example. And yeah, you know, uh, and to be a man of my word, I'm gonna hold myself accountable, right? And I'm gonna sit in front of this camera. And right now I'm scared shitless because I might not follow up with what I'm saying, but I am going to. I'm gonna force myself because I've already made a commitment. All right, I've already said these words. I've let them out of my mouth, and I have to, hold behind that. To myself, I lie to myself all the time. Oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, and I never get to it. Right. But now I'm making a true commitment. Right. Now I would stop uploading every single day depending on a few things. Right. But I'm going to let myself decide that in the future because I don't want to make a radical decision, for now. But what I will say is until something significant in my life happens, I'm still going to record every single day. I'm gonna be here just grinding, and I think the content even might switch. I think I'm thinking about different formats where I might just have 4 hour work sessions, throw up a Discord link, and if you watch my video, you can join me in my Discord server. I'll be in a separate channel because I get distracted very easily, but I kind of want to build a community around something that's not all sunshine and rainbows, where it's like, hey, we're still figuring stuff out. We're still trying to do things properly, even if that means not doing them the easy way, and trying to find some level of result. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, you know, fuck the sleep. You know, I I, I I'm not interested in work-life balance at all. I'm not interested in me feeling tired. No, And honestly, I've really thought about this, and it's all inside of your head. It's all a mental game. It's just you versus you, and the more you overthink, and the more, fictional scenarios you add, it's just an excuse for yourself to not do something that you don't like. And I'm personally sick of that. And I'm someone that doesn't necessarily give up easily. I'm very diligent, and I it's very hard to break my my commitment to things of trying things over and over and over. But I am getting tired of letting myself down, and that's something I want to see less of, because that actually affects a lot of my own personal confidence, and that's not okay. Not for my own standards, and not to the standards that other people hold me to. People expect a lot more from me, and I'm here to fulfill on that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. You guys can definitely stay tuned uh, to see next video, and hopefully I'll be able to grow back my hair, because my receding hairline has destroyed my reputation of having good hair. So thank you so much for watching. If you found any sort of valuable, even in a percentage, the slightest percentage, the tenth to the tenth to the hundredth to the thousandth, if you found that that minuscule of value in this video, make sure to give me a like, and drop a comment. I love reading the comments, truly. I love interacting with people. I'm sitting in my home going insane because all I do is go to work, and I come here and I work, right? So drop me drop me a comment. Let's interact. Let's build a family here. Yeah. I I'm sure you don't want to be a part of my family, but I'm inviting you to be a part of mine. So open arms. Open arms. There you go. Anyways, I'm sure someone like watched that and they're like, this pathetic guy. I would never be a part of his family. What an idiot. Touche, brother. You guys have an amazing, wonderful night, day, afternoon, morning, whenever you guys are watching this. And yeah, take care.